It's showtime, and folks, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to boys and girls, all Whovians of all likes. This is Christian Beza, the legend of the Traveling TARDIS radio show. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll introduce our special guest tonight. You recognize him, most of you, from the TV movie The Enemy Within. It's Yee Jee Tso, who played Chang Lee. How you doing there? How you doing there tonight?
Not too bad, thanks. Hanging in there.
Yee Jee, talk to us. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got that role in the TV movie.
So we're auditioning for this thing. It was down to the last two. I was told there was two of us going up for this thing after 3 rounds of auditions. It was me and another fine Canadian actor here. And at that time in my life, I was very bad at managing time. And this audition was at the studio out in Burnaby, and there was some distance to travel. And I don't know what happened that day. It was raining. It was dark. It was lots of traffic. I was irresponsible, so I was very late. I was very late for this audition. Probably I want to say like an hour late, and I blew it. Completely blew it. So I went in there. I was late. I didn't really think there was any chance that anything was going to happen out of this thing. So I was like, I'm just going to do my audition, whatever. Like, there's nothing I can do now, right? So it just did the audition, and somehow, whatever it was, days later, whatever, I got noticed that I got the gig at a convention. The first convention that we did, or one of the first conventions that we did after the show, I was sitting on a panel with Philip Siegel, and somebody in the audience said, how did you pick Yee Jee for this role? And he told the story of me being late from their perspective, and he was like, well, we were always looking for this quality about the Chang Lee character where he just doesn't give a damn, like he would just like devil may care, like didn't give a damn about anyone kind of thing, and had this attitude, and that's what they were looking for the part. And they thought that the way that I was late and then didn't really seem to care about that and just kind of did the audition anyway, and he said that was the clincher for them. That's what did it for them.
You brought a level of authenticity to the character nobody else did.
Did you know when you took on this role how it changed your life from before it happened to what it is today now?
Yeah, I wasn't really prepared for, say going to conventions and events and stuff like that, even like 20 years later. Like there was the 50th anniversary BBC, big special that was on. It was a pretty major sort of deal. They had, it was an event space in outside of London. There was like 20,000, 25,000 people there. It was like a big deal, and I would never have imagined when we shot the movie that was in my future. Just it would never have occurred to me, but there I was 20 years later doing that. So oh
this is the Doctor Who role-playing game, the source book for the 8th Doctor.
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
How do I get one of those? My kid would go crazy. My son loves RPG.
Cubicle 7. Cubicle 7, Irish company.
Okay.
We can talk after.
Let's talk after. I need to get a copy of that.
Do you consider yourself a villain?
I think he was the villain maybe to start off with, and maybe he was a villain afterwards. We don't really know what happened to him. I think there was definitely a point in there where he saw the light, so to speak, either literally or figuratively, I guess, because there was that scene where it was very light around their heads, and like isn't that what happened? Yeah, there was at the end there was the reviving of, anyway. So I don't know. I guess I don't really feel like he was a villain per se, but rather misguided. Is that too naive? Is that too like I don't know. He was led down the wrong path. Whatever.
The reason I asked that is one of my earliest episodes with the Traveling TARDIS here was the spookiest villain or scariest villains, and I actually chose Chang Lee.
Yeah.
Because he basically just went down that path. It's like, oh, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
Master, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
there was much discussion after when he brought that up.
There was much
Yeah.
discussion after.
The
thing
look on everyone's faces was absolutely glorious, and then we got a few. Okay, yeah.
I think. I mean, I chalk that up as a win. I think that's great. I wish I was there. I did actually end up being endowed with that jacket afterwards, the Chang Lee jacket, and I subsequently just wore it out. It was like my going out jacket. I would just have the thing on, and just no clue really. I was just whatever, just blah blah blah. And then I threw it in the closet, and it became something that I couldn't really sport anymore. Like that kind of jacket. I don't know if you guys remember. It was made by an Italian company called Destroy, and it was popular with like sort of raver kids in the 90s. And it was like silver with like an orange stripe and these black, it was like this shiny thing. And as soon as I hit my like 20s, mid to late 20s, I couldn't wear that anymore. I mean, it just looked so. In the closet it sat. Andrew Beach from the BBC was showing Paul the costume from the movie. He had just recovered, probably for a lot of money, Paul McGann's costume from the original wardrobe designer on the show. And I went to Andrew and I said, do you want the Chang Lee jacket? and he said, well, yeah. I ended up just donating it to him because I think it kind of belongs with Paul's stuff, and Andrew's spent a lot of time kind of collecting all those things in one place. And I think his eventual goal is to have it be at the British Museum, which I think it's a good home for that. So I did get something from set, but it ended up, I think, in the right place.
Yee Jee, tell us a little bit about this book and what started, because you told me, but I wanted to hear other people to hear about where it came from and where they can purchase it.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks. So back in the day, we did not have the same kinds of like NDAs and agreements that they make us sign on shows these days. And so taking photography, making photographs of on set was not, they didn't think anything of it, right? And photography itself was different back then. Like I had this Nikon FD metal heavy thing, film SLR that I would bring on set, and just put it on something and set the timer and take a photo. And some of the photos worked out and some of them didn't, because you wouldn't be able to tell until you took the photos in to get developed or whatnot. So and I didn't think much of it. It was like just something I did. So I years later, I don't know, I never even thought about it. I just had assumed that stuff was gone. And then it so happened that we had some stuff when my mom moved from Vancouver to Toronto. We ended up somehow having some boxes that she had like in our garage. And this box has my script and just all of these artifacts and my photos from the set. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go around and take photos of these places that the way they are now, like where these sets were, where these locations were. I'm gonna go and get some photographs of them today and put together a book with then and now photos, and I'm going to try to tell some stories about each one of these sets, and make it a bit personal and put it together in a book. And so that's what that is. It's time and spaces, these spaces where we existed 20 years ago when we were filming there, and then what they're like now.
Oh, that's cool.
Definitely working on getting another edition out. For sure, by the time the 25th anniversary comes around, we'll definitely have it available. Thank you.
I think I can end the broadcast. I think everybody's out tonight.